Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashemi Hawashai, Bahashemi Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking at the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name Jehoshai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is about our inheritance, which is a part of our blessing that the heathen are going to become our slaves when it is that our Lord Yahushua returns. And that when Yahushua returns, he's going to set things in perfect order. Right? Our blessing is going to be fulfilled at that time, and we're going to live with this blessing eternally, everlasting, forever and ever. And a part of that is that the heathen are going to be our slaves. Okay? So Genesis chapter 27 and verse 27, and he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord Yahweh hath blessed. Now the situation here is that, Jacob is supplanting Esau, right? And Jacob, that's his name, Yaquab, which means supplanter, heel holder. All right, so Jacob's name is an omen nomen. All right. So what transpired is all ordained by way of Yahweh Shemishai, as all things are ordained by Yahweh Shemishai. Therefore, the Lord give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine, which is complete and utter rulership. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee, talking about the heathen. They're going to serve us, and they're going to bow down to us. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. All right. And I'll just read this part. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. All right, so Jacob was given the ultimate blessing. Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, and the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the Israelites, so we have this blessing, and it's coming, man. All of the heathen are going to be our slaves. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8, Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. All right, so the heathen, to clarify, they are, known as in this world as the so-called white people, the so-called Chinese people, the so-called Japanese people, the so-called African people, the so-called Pacific Islander, the so-called Arabs, the so-called East Indians, right? This is what we know them as, but they do have biblical names. And those heathen, the Moabites, the Edomites, the Ammonites, the Ishmaelites, the Hamites, the Japhites, the Elamites, etc., they are all going up into slavery under us. All right, and they're going to serve us, and they're going to build up our kingdom. All right, in Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10, it says, And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Okay, so they're going to build up our kingdom, because when Yahushua returns, it's going to be a complete reset. All of the works and everything that you see of this world are going to be completely done away with. All right, the world is going to start over. It's going to be renewed. There's going to be a refresh. All right, and everything is going to be built to the liking of Yahweh Shemishai, and everything is just going to be set in perfect order regarding that. All right, and a part of that order is that the heathen are going to be our slaves. Right now, things are, we are slaves to the heathen, right? But the way that it is going to be eternally is that they are going to be our possession. All right, so, for the heathen, they're going to serve us willingly as well, because they're going to see, that the ways of Yahweh Shemishai are righteous and pure and beneficial, right? To keep the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai. All right, when it is that the second covenant is fulfilled, when Yahushua returns and we have the law, statutes, and commandments written within our hearts, we will then be perfect. So when it is that the heathen, they will never be perfect because they will always be in the flesh, but they will see how beneficial it is to live by this type of way. Okay, and it says in Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1, and the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Talking about the heathen, all right, because the kingdom of heaven, when Yahushua returns, is going to be established, and we're going to be ruling, we're going to be on top. Okay, so it says, and all nations shall flow unto it, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. So the heathen are going to desire to learn the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai and to follow them, because they're going to see how prosperous it is to be this type of way. Okay? For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem, right? And also, they're going to have to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments as well, all right? And they're going to have to worship Yahweh Shemishai. They won't be able to worship the false gods and false idols. All of those works are going to be done away with completely, okay? They will have to worship Yahweh Shemishai. All right, but once again, they will go off as they are in the flesh. Okay, so when it is that they go off, we will judge them accordingly, right? They will receive the judgment according to the law for the offense committed. Okay, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So in the kingdom of heaven, the heathen, they're not going to be fighting. Okay, there's not going to be any kind of war or anything like that. They're going to be our slaves. They're going to be subject to us, and they will be serving us. All right, and everything is going to be set in order. Okay, which lets you know that the people who claim that they are the Lord's holy chosen people, the small hats, the people, who are inhabiting Israel right now, they are not the Lord's holy chosen people, as right now there is literally war on the horizon, which is World War III, which is Bible prophecy. Okay, so the thing for the heathen is that it is going to be, overall prosperous for them, because when it is that we are managing the world, everything is going to be set right, and the laws are going to be kept, right? So the air is going to be clean, the water is going to be clean, the earth is going to be plentiful and bountiful, you know, and everything is going to be clean and pure. You see what I'm saying? And they are going to benefit from our rulership. So it is going to be a great time for them as our slaves. They simply just did not receive our blessing, but that's just what it is, you know? And yeah. So with that, all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh, Shalom.